Hey guys, in this video here we're going to be covering striking points on our opponent. What are we trying to achieve in our engagement? And that's going to be coming up next, so stick around. Hey everybody, my name is Dan, Austin Self-Defense. I thank you for showing up today. In today's video we'll be covering striking points, vulnerable points on our opponent. And to start with, I'm going to be covering everything from the front, then we're going to cover everything from the side, and then we'll cover everything from the back. So from the front, we have multiple options on the head itself. But from the front of the face, there's very limited types of strikes we can deliver there without making us vulnerable to actually breaking our hand or damaging our cells, because this is a very bony structure. So let's first keep in mind with Krav Maga, the mentality of Krav Maga is if I'm striking, it's going to be hard to soft. So if it's closed fist, I'm striking a soft target, which is the body. If I'm going with a palm heel strike, I'm going for a hard target. So this is soft against hard or hard against soft. That's the mentality of Krav Maga. So from the front, I typically don't want to punch with a straight punch or a fist like this right here, because you will notice that my target being the nose, there's a very good chance I'm going to connect with the chin on the lower knuckles, which right here, which is what creates the boxer's fracture, which breaks my hand. So I certainly don't want to be punching in the face like this right here, especially if I'm a concealed carry and I'm a right-hand shooter and I'm striking with my right hand. I break my hand, which is going to cause limitations in my ability to manipulate my weapon. So right here, what I want to do is from the front, I'm doing a palm heel strike. And a palm heel strike, my wrist is bent back, my fingers are pressed together, my thumb is tucked in as well. I'm making contact with the bone part of my hand here, striking upwards underneath the nose here towards the tip of the head. So I'm striking upward this direction here if I'm going for the nose. So that's one of our targets. The other target is going to be the eyes. Now if I'm going for the eyes, I'm not specifically trying to jab at the eyes. What I'm trying to do is rake the eyes and hopefully catch some eyes, and that allows me the ability to follow up with another type of strike, especially if I'm going for the eyes. They raise their hands up to protect that, then I come back with a follow-up with a groin kick. So my strike is actually coming in here from the chin and moving upwards, loose wrist here, and just raking the face, okay? So I'm going from here, reaching out, raking, and then coming back. So that's our eye target, our nose target, and then we have the throat. The throat, I'm using the web of my hand here, so I'm opening up my hand as far as I can. Fingers are pressed together, thumb is pulled back, contact point is here, and I'm striking for the collarbone moving upwards. So I'm not striking straight in, because if Bob here drops his chin like this on the way in for my strike, I'm going to hit him in the chin, which is not going to create near the damage, if any at all, as it would if I hit him in the throat. So I'm coming from underneath, so even if he drops his chin, I can still get that target. Okay? Again, this is a strike, and with all our strikes, we're always recoiling back right off that strike. Striking here, or raking here, okay? Another option I have is the ears. And if I'm going for the ears, I'm actually shooting across the shoulders like this right here. My hands are cupped like this, so I can create some air. What I'm trying to do is drive air into the eardrums and burst the eardrums, which throws their equilibrium off, which causes them to have vertigo, which makes it harder for them to fight. So if I'm doing this, I'm shooting across the shoulder line and then driving in like this right here, almost like I'm doing a pec deck at the gym. So I'm shooting this direction here and then driving in. And typically if I'm that close, it's usually when we utilize this is when somebody's doing a bear hug and our arms are free, because we're right there very close. But in a regular engagement, I don't really want to move in that close, because you see how much further I have to move in to get those ears. Whereas right here, I could have got the eyes, I could have got the throat, and I could have got the nose without getting closer to my opponent. So that's a good target, the ears, but it's not necessarily my goal for the front. So I've also got the Xiphoid Process, which is right here where the ribs come together. That's that little bone that hangs down right there. They typically tell you when you're doing CPR, you're going to break that bone more than likely. That's the Xiphoid Process, and it's very painful. And if I'm going for the Xiphoid Process, I'm striking for the lower back. So I'm striking way back here for the lower back. Back here, striking downward. So I'm striking in a downward angle, kind of like the nose. I was striking for an upward angle. I'm striking downward here. Now again, we're moving into soft tissue. So it's going to be hard to soft. So I'm striking in here, and I'm striking downwards. So I'm trying to make contact with these two knuckles right here. Now in Krav Maga, we punch with a straight fist like this right here. So kind of think of the concept of holding a cup of coffee, and I don't want to spill my coffee. So I'm just keeping my fist straight up and down, which also allows that hand to fit nicely between the rib cage. If I turn my fist like this right here, I'll be connecting with ribs on either side. So I really want to keep that fist straight up and down. I'm also going for the floating rib, which is out here on the outside soft tissue area here. The floating rib is the last rib down here on the bottom that doesn't connect. So it's very painful. It shoots shock waves up into your internal organs, which is a knockout in itself. So instead of them going down from a knockout to the face, where it's lights out, and then all of a sudden they wake up to try to figure out what just happened to them, this one here is a very painful knockout, and it puts them on the ground. They're still awake, they're still coherent, but they're down on the ground curled up. So it's an extremely good strike, especially if you're a smaller person going up against a taller person, because it's much easier to get to a lower target than to try to jump up for a higher target. So next in line is going to be the groin. So I'm always going for the groin, specifically straight into the groin. We will have opportunities where we swing between the legs and get that kick, but we don't always have that ability, especially if they're off to the side of us. And we have techniques that we do in here as well, called a bailout, where I'm actually trying to move away from this person, especially if I have a knife in the other hand, and I'm creating a kick. I can still get that kick without swinging between their legs and go specifically to target. So the mentality of Krav Maga is I'm going specific to target, is coming up toes in, going to target, not necessarily swinging between their legs, which is not always an option in an engagement. So from the front, we also have, which I can't use on Bob, he doesn't have knees, we also have knees here. So the knees don't bend this direction. So I'm going for a knee, and this is typically a finishing move. So we always hit high and we hit low, like I had described before. And if I'm hitting low, I'm usually on my way out, I'm leaving. So I've hit high with a medium range. Now I'm turning to create that distance and run, and I'm following low with a low strike, okay? And I'm typically hitting a vertical target with a horizontal weapon. In this particular case, it's a side kick. It's a horizontal weapon to a vertical target, which is the knee. So I'm hitting right at the kneecap here, driving in and down, trying to dislocate that knee to allow me the ability to run. And of course, they lose their mobility to chase me. The other one is going to be the instep, which is right at the foot here, right where the ankle and the shin bone meet, and I'm typically stomping back again to a vertical target. I'm turning my foot sideways, so I'm coming in at a side angle, and I'm scraping all the way down that shin, all the way down to that instep. So I'm going from here and then stomping down on that instep, and hopefully taking skin with it all the way down the shin on the way. This is a very good one, especially if you're caught in a bear hug from behind, and I'm stomping down. That's one of our initial strikes to soften our opponent up to allow us to break free. So those are all the targets from the front. We have eyes, nose, throat. We can also get the ears. Going for the Xiphoid Process, groin, knees, and instep. So I also want to keep in mind, I can get this knockout here, which is right where the neck meets the shoulders, okay? And it's striking in and down, and typically that's with a hammer punch coming in this direction here. So that's an option as well I can get from the front. That is a knockout. They are going to the ground if you hit them in that spot right there. So it's a very vulnerable position. Also, I can get this chin here from the front with a hammer punch coming sideways, so it's coming in a circular motion to where I can still connect that chin. So I'm either going for the tip of the chin here or the temple. So these are your three knockouts: the neck, the tip of the chin, or the temple. And I'm usually getting those with either a hook or a hammer punch. And again, we talked about this earlier, where you're going something more like a soft weapon against a hard target. I have a lot less chance of injuring my hand if I'm hitting with this meat part of my hand here, like a hammer fist, versus I'm hitting with my knuckles in a hook, making contact with the face. Okay, so we look at this as if there's always better options, not that one's wrong and one's right, but we try to look at the reality of it and the potentials for injury and what would be a better option for us than the other one. So this is going to cover all your targets from the front. We can also get a couple targets from the side as well from the front position, utilizing those types of strikes. And from the side position on Bob, again, we have the temple, we have the tip of the chin and the neck. I'm not going for an ear shot from the side because it's hard to really cause much damage from the side to the ear. So I'm either going for the chin, the temple, or the side of the neck. I can still also get that floating rib here, and also get a kidney shot right back here above the belt line, that soft tissue area there, which is another knockout if you get that. And then we've got the side of the knee here. So initially we went for the front of the knee, now we're going for the side of the knee. The knee does not bend this way. This is typically our bailout on the way out, where we're striking low, trying to collapse that knee on the way out of there. So we have those striking points, and then from the rear, on Bob, we've got the back of the neck here, which is right underneath the skull, so the round of the head. We're going right here on the spine, and that's where all your nerves travel down. Typically, we're going for a hammer punch, striking like this right here in, which is going to drop them. They're going down, that's for sure. It's a knockout. We can also get the kidneys on either side, and then there's many times that from behind I can also get a kick between their legs on the way out as well, but that's not always the best option from the back. So I've got the kidneys, I've also got the back of the neck, and I've got the spine, delivering a knee to the spine, especially pulling back on the back of the head here, and driving upwards. So that's a very effective strike as well. Now when you start going for strikes like that to the spine, especially a knee to the spine, you better really feel like that's a warranted strike, because if you incapacitate them and paralyze them for some reason, this needs to be a life-death situation, because it could have been something that could have been eliminated. The threat could have been eliminated with a hammer punch to the back of the neck. So make sure that if you do some of these strikes, like the one to the spine, that is warranted. But anyway, so that's going to cover all your strikes from the front, from the side, from the rear. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you feel like it's very helpful for you. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to see you engaging on the forum as well. If you can think of anybody who might be interested in this or feel like they might get benefit from it, please share it as well. And also follow our channel, because we do have videos coming out on a regular basis, weekly basis, and that way it comes at the top of your timeline in the YouTube channel, showing you the newest releases, so that you have that information as soon as it comes out. I thank you for showing up today, and we really enjoyed being here with you, and we look forward to the next video. Have a good day.